Welcome back to Two Doctors Homestead. My name's Daniel, and this is another episode of Prepper Pantry. Pick of the week. I was looking at the past videos, and we passed 70, so we've been doing this for a while now. 70 videos, one video a week. I think that counts as a while. So if you're new to the channel, we appreciate you. We always appreciate new subscribers as much as we appreciate the existing subscribers, right? Thanks, guys. You're keeping us going. We wouldn't be doing it without you. Appreciate the comments, the likes, the shares, all that stuff. So you keep us going, it keeps it fun. We'll keep making the videos. It's just that simple. That's how that works. So what we do, if you're new here, we take you shopping with us, and we just got done with the shopping part of the video. We were down at Atwood's. It's our favorite farm store, and we like to show around Atwood's every once in a while because there's a lot of stuff there that you don't get at the normal grocery stores. If you've never been to a farm store, it's a much different experience, right? You got the tools, you got all sorts of stuff that you don't normally see. We picked up at Atwood's the Old South pickled eggs, and I want to jump into the pickled eggs and eggs in general. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of options on eggs. We've got chickens, so we're kind of spoiled on our fresh eggs, right? A lot of the eggs we eat are day old, right? Because we've got the chickens that are always cranking out eggs for us. But we got the pickled eggs here, and it's certainly an option to do the pickled eggs. But one of the things we look at when we're doing these Prepper Pantry videos is building out your food storage pantry, right? It's always good to have some extra food on the shelf just in case, and it's not always looking at something like a can of, or a jar of eggs. Like, how much food is that really? And it's something we get into. If you had to just live on jars of eggs, not saying I'd recommend that, like, how many jars would you need just to get through a day to stay above the starvation level? And we use 1,500 calories for that. Obviously, that depends on you, but 1,500 seems like a standard number of calories to stay above the starvation level. Sometimes we do 2,000 calories, which is your daily diet, your average daily diet that they use when they're making the nutritional information is 2,000 calories. So sometimes we hit that. I always want to throw that out there. And if you want to see our chickens, if you want to see more of our homesteading content, we used to do a lot of shorts, but we put that all up on Instagram now. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, just at Two Doctors Homestead. Incidentally, if you want to see the chickens and whatnot, most of that's over there. It doesn't seem to do well on YouTube, so most of that stuff is over there. Check it out, visit our chickens, where I try to do videos over there as well. But today we're talking about the eggs. We got Old South pickled eggs, and I'll open it up and eat one and share the experience. I've had pickled eggs before. They're not my favorite, but I think it's a good item to pull out because I was surprised by the shelf life, right? There's actually a lot of shelf life, more than it feels like maybe there should be, but there's a lot of shelf life on these pickled eggs. But before we get to that, let's talk about the nutritional information. What are you actually buying with the jar of pickled eggs? 16-ounce jar of pickled eggs here. Obviously, a lot of that's going to be more the vinegar than the egg, I think, but we'll see. So serving size is 1 egg, so there's 6 servings per container, 6 eggs, 6 servings for $4.49. And certainly that's more expensive than just buying eggs at the grocery store. But the advantage of pickled eggs, of course, is some people might like the flavor, but the shelf life, right? Normal eggs at the grocery store aren't going to have that same kind of shelf life. 50 calories per egg based on the nutritional information. When I look online, they say average 70 calories per egg. Obviously, that depends on the size of the egg. Maybe these are small eggs. I did notice the nutritional information is different for the pickled eggs than it would be for a fresh egg, and we're not going to get into that too much, but I do see a difference. And you see the same thing if you look at, say, fresh cucumbers versus pickled cucumbers, or pickles, right? They lose, I think, in my opinion, they lose a lot of the nutritional value when you do the pickling. That's what it seems like to me. So $4.49, 50 calories per egg. So if you wanted to get to 1,500 calories, and I'm not saying you should live on eggs. I've eaten a lot of eggs at times. Probably not the best idea, but they are very healthy for you. So it would take 50 calories. You'd need 30 eggs to get to 1,500 calories, which is 5 jars. So you'd have to eat 5 jars of pickled eggs to stay above the starvation level at 1,500 calories, and that would cost you $22.45, which is expensive. That's an expensive way to eat eggs, expensive way to eat in general. But if you did eat 5 jars, 30 eggs at 50 calories an egg, you would get, your total fat would be 90 grams. So 90 grams of fat, 150% of daily, and since it goes over the daily at 1,500 calories, I would call it higher fat, right? And I just do that based on if you ate 2,000 calories and based on the percentage of daily value. If you only ate 1,500 calories, you'd already be at 150% of daily. So for that, I'm saying it's higher fat. Total cholesterol, 4,200 milligrams, which is 1,400% of the daily, 14 times daily. And I may have made a mistake on that math. I don't think I did, because one egg is half your daily. So if you're eating 30 eggs, that's a lot. You're getting a ton of cholesterol. Total sodium, 3,750 milligrams, which is 150% of your daily. They do add salt in here, right? I think I've got the freeze-dried eggs I'll show you. I don't think eggs on their own are going to have that kind of salt. Yeah, here it's 65 milligrams. So they're adding salt. Just like any other preserved product, they pack a ton of salt in there. All right, and we're back. The dogs were freaking out there for a second. Had to cut the video. You don't want to hear them barking. So total carbs, 30 grams, which is 30% of daily. So you could say low carb. Right, low carb, because if all you ate were the eggs, you'd be well below the daily recommended. So that's where I'm coming up with my highs and lows. Total protein, 150 grams. So it says protein 5 grams per egg, and we'll get into that. This, once again, doesn't give a recommended, and a lot of products don't seem to, but the recommended seems to be between about 50 and 200. So 150 would actually be good, right, on protein. So this has iron and 0 calcium. So that's where the nutritional information is different between the pickled eggs and, say, fresh eggs, or even the freeze-dried eggs. The freeze-dried eggs have calcium, vitamin A, and this does not have vitamin A or calcium. So that's why I feel like looking at a couple different pickled products, you do seem to lose some of the nutritional value, and that's maybe just my opinion. But let's talk about eggs. The incredible edible egg, I remember that growing up from an advertisement. So WebMD says eggs are tasty, filling, and good for your health at any age. Along with milk, eggs contain the highest biological value or gold standard for protein. One egg has about 77 calories. Once again, these are 50. 6 grams of protein. These are 5 grams of fat. These are 3. And 1.6 grams of saturated fat, along with iron, minerals, vitamins, and carotenoids. The egg is also a powerhouse for the egg is also a powerhouse of disease-fighting nutrients such as lutein and zeaxanthin. Messing that one up. These carotenoids may reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in older adults. Here are some examples of the health benefits. So ton of health benefits, even though I can't pronounce this stuff today. Weight loss, prenatal bone strength, and they say nutritious snack, 6.3 grams of protein per egg. Adults should have about 50 to 175 daily, and that's about the number we use. 25 milligrams of calcium, which once again, these pickled ones don't have the calcium. 0.59 milligrams of iron, 63 milligrams of potassium. This doesn't mention potassium. So it is weird. So a lot of the pickled products, source of choline. So it's sort of, if you read it as it's written, it's choline, and I know it's not choline, it's choline. Choline is important for cellular maintenance and growth, and hard-boiled eggs are the top source in the U.S. diet. Choline may enhance brain development and memory. We all need that. Maybe I'd not have pronounced the words if I had more brain development and memory. Eye protection, increased mental energy. Maybe if I pound a few eggs after this, my mental energy will go up. So I want to talk about shelf life, right? When we're doing the Prepper Pantry videos, we always talk about shelf life. I think it's important to understand how long your food will last. If you're building out a pantry, it's no good if it all expires before you eat it. So there's a lot of different information out there. So I went to purinamills.com. So unwashed eggs, and that's what I've got here. These are unwashed eggs from my chickens, right? It's just straight out of the chickens. They still got little bits of straw and stuff. They're great. We don't wash them, right? Unwashed eggs. So this says unwashed eggs will last about 2 weeks unrefrigerated. I feel like we've gone longer, and they're fine, right? For my experiences, I think they can go a lot longer than that, but Purina Mills says 2 weeks unrefrigerated. 3 months or more in your refrigerator, right? That's what they're saying. Now, if you're buying eggs at the grocery store in America, they always wash them. If you look at places like Europe, I believe they don't wash them and they don't refrigerate eggs. So we like, clean. We want a sparkly, sterilized, clean egg here in America, but because they wash it, it loses the bloom. So when an egg is hatched, and some people don't know this, some of you do, the chicken actually, it gets a protective coating on it called bloom that keeps it from going bad. But the moment you wash the egg to get all the little dirt and stuff off, it washes off the bloom and they're not shelf stable anymore. So a lot of people don't realize that. Unwashed, they last longer. Washed, there's no shelf value, right? Washed eggs must be refrigerated and will last about 2 months in the refrigerator. So unwashed, 3 months in the refrigerator, washed 2 months in the refrigerator. You clean it, you kill the shelf life. That's just what we do here in America. There is a technique called water glassing. So if you look at backyardpoultry.com, preserving eggs using the water glassing method allows farm fresh eggs to remain fresh between 1 year and 18 months. However, there are individuals who state their eggs remain edible up to 2 years and then preserving liquid. The method of glassing eggs has been practiced since the early 1800s, and there's a lot of people that do that in the Homestead channels on YouTube. You can water glass your eggs, and we're not showing that process. What I thought was interesting is when we were looking at this, these pickled eggs, they got about a 3-year shelf life on the container. So I feel like it's likely very similar technique to the water glassing. Apparently in the industrial scale, they're squeezing 3 years out of this. When you're saying water glass at home, it's 1 year, maybe 18 months, maybe 2 years. So whatever they're doing in the factory, they're calling it 3 years. So these will last a very long time. And that's maybe the advantage, right? If you want to have eggs stashed away to last a long time, that'll get you there, right? That's almost 3 years. So the last one, and always the gold standard whenever you're looking at long-term food storage, is of course freeze-dried, right? Still the most expensive. Now what's interesting is this doesn't show the shelf life. It's dried whole egg powder from Emergency Essentials, beprepared.com. Usually when we buy this kind of stuff, it can get very expensive, so we look for sales. So honestly, I'll hit Amazon or whatever we'll do, and if a can goes on sale and it's a reasonable price, we'll pick it up, right? Pick up the can. It doesn't have a shelf life. Usually it's 10, 20, 30 years, something like that with the freeze-dried. So once you get all the moisture out, you get an exceedingly long shelf life. So if you own your own freeze dryer, right, that's where it comes into play, and you can really crank out the shelf life on your foods. And it's going to last a long time, right? And the nutritional information on the freeze-dried seems to have the more of the nutrients than the pickled. So I'm going to crack this open here, share the experience. I've had pickled eggs before. They're not my favorite, to be honest. I know some people love them. We bought them, so obviously I'm gonna eat them. Maybe I should have took a smaller bite. No, I mean, not bad. Get a hit of that vinegar. You can taste that vinegar. All right. They're not bad eggs. I mean, we're pretty spoiled on the super fresh eggs that we get. They're a day old. To me, any of the preserved eggs just taste like old eggs. They're kind of hard-boiled eggs that are a little tough. But honestly, the flavor worked. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not going to sit here and eat the whole jar, but I mean, it's not bad. Well, it's certainly an option. Looking at the nutritional information, nutritional benefits, there's a lot of stuff that says eggs are very healthy. I don't think you'd only want to live on eggs, right? Because that's when you're pushing some of the negative sides of the nutritional value probably too far, but eating eggs every day, eating eggs occasionally, something like that might be something you'd want to think about. So I hope that helps out. As always, thank you for watching, and we appreciate you.